Hi there, welcome back. Right, again, we're killing two birds with one stone. This is a gameplay video and review of Rick Dangerous, and also the first game of it is going to be my entry to the ZX High Score Challenge. This was chosen by Gravius, Lee Ashton. He chose it because he won the Rainbow Islands Challenge and also because he's evil. I don't know this game at all. Released by Core in 1989, as you can see, you play Rick Dangerous and you've crash landed your plane in the Amazon and you've got to avoid getting grabbed by the Gulus. Tumbleweed moment, an incredibly shit joke there. Yeah, released by Core in 1989. I don't know this game at all. The rules of the ZX High Score Challenge are you get 1 hour to practice the chosen game and then you've got to do one playthrough, getting as far as you can, getting as high a score as you can. Now, this was supposed to be up yesterday, but I didn't have time. I had a late finish what I was doing yesterday, so I didn't have time to get it done. Now, as you can see, the graphics are really nice, but monochrome, which causes some problems later on, as you will see. The jumps over the enemies, etc., have to be pixel perfect. Now, I've said this before about control methods in games and why some games inexplicably don't have redefinable keys. Rick Dangerous is one of them, and it's got the kind of left-handed sort of favouring ZX left and right, O and K for jump and down, jump and crouch, and really strange way of firing. You get bullets and a finite amount of bullets and sticks of dynamite. And in order to fire a bullet at the baddies, you've got to press up and enter. Now, my laptop keyboard, O and enter are quite a distance apart, so I've tried to not use it as much as possible and just try and avoid the baddies because it stunts the game somewhat. Now, the graphics, like I said, they're really nice. But monochrome, and that does cause some of the issues that plagued some Spectrum games in your ability to see things. As you can see, there's a bat thing just there, literally, and it's really difficult to see, and it's not by any means the only thing that's really dangerous, really sort of deadly within the game. So here we go. I'm going to lay a dynamite stick. I'm going to try to by pressing down and fire. There we go, and then I can crouch down and get through that gap. Now, this is full of some nice, neat little touches. It is a really playable game, but it's got some really infuriating parts to it, such as here, you can't see, and I didn't see the first couple of times, but there's some things there that you've got to blow up so that you can get past them. But because they're green and black on green and black, they're really difficult to see. Now, there is a sequel, Rick Dangerous 2. I don't know that game either. Again, as always, although this is my entry into the ZX High Score Challenge and a review as well, I'm going to ask what's your memories of this game if you know it? Did you manage to breeze all the way through it, or did, like me, you find it very difficult to get anywhere in it? Now, I suppose the trick with Rick Dangerous is going to be every sort of screen, or most screens, are kind of like a leap of blind faith into the next one, either below or alongside. And I suppose once you've learned where everything is, the game can become sort of easily beaten. But it takes a while to get that far, I find. You do need to be incredibly patient with it. Like I say, the control system isn't particularly intuitive and there are some quirks, etc. But the graphics are really nicely drawn. There's some decent sound effects. You know, everything moves quite well. The jumps, etc. have to be sort of pixel perfect, and you can sort of like maneuver in midair, which is very helpful a lot of the time. Now, would I come back to Rick Dangerous? Well, there's something about it that that sort of one more go, sort of try and get a little bit further and a little bit further. So I might find myself sort of like returning to this every once in a while, just to see how much further I can get into it, which is unusual for me. I usually find that if a game's too difficult, I just, no matter how sort of technically adept it is, I tend to just leave it and get bored of it. So there we see I've just collected some more bullets and sticks of dynamite, etc. There are 3 separate stages, I believe. You've got, I can't remember what the next one is because I've shut World of Spectrum down. The second stage, yeah, I don't know what that is. And the third stage is kind of setting like a kind of Nazi era sort of setting. But I don't know. I digress as well. Oh, yeah, see what I mean about losing your lives there. Now, this is going to be over very quickly because, as you can see, I've only got the 1 life left. And there we go. So that was my entry for the high score challenge. Now, I could just have a drink of coffee. Obviously, Core went on to slightly bigger and somewhat better things when they became IDOS, etc. So there's one of the questions for you. Not only do you know Rick Dangerous, what's your favourite game to have come from Core stroke IDOS, etc.? Obviously, the obvious one is Tomb Raider and the first couple of sequels there. A series I was not particularly fond of. I never found it particularly easy to control, and whilst it was technically sort of great, I think it just wasn't my kind of game. Although I do believe the sort of reboots of it, the recent sort of Tomb Raider games, are supposed to be excellent, but I've not played any of them. So, any other games of this ilk? What do you know of them? Do you know Rick Dangerous on any of the other platforms it was released on? So the Amiga, the ST, Amstrad and Commodore 64. I can imagine those would be slightly more playable because they would remove this sort of difficulty to see some of the projectiles and bullets, etc. coming your way. So please let me know your thoughts and views on other versions of the game if you are aware of them. You won't believe the amount of swearing that took place while I was actually recording this gameplay. It was stressful, but at the same time strangely enjoyable, especially once you find yourself getting a little bit further than you did last time each time. Really is quite high up on the old one more go stakes. Very, very nice game, very well presented, very well designed. Very, very infuriating, but ultimately worth a go. Give it a try if you've never played it. There's an awful lot about it to like. If only they'd, your redefinable keys, because that's a thing that plagued some of the Gremlin Graphics games. They had that kind of up, down, left, right setup that seemed to sort of favour left-handed people, whereas I always favour the QA up and down, OP left and right, and whatever fire button you want sort of setup. This one takes a lot of getting used to and sort of makes the game a bit more unfair than it needs to be. Anyway, I'm going to stop rabbiting. I hope you liked the video. If you do like it, please let me know. If you wish to subscribe, please do so. It's going to be great to see you. But as ever, if you do subscribe, please make sure that you join in the conversations. Share your memories, etc. of this and any other of the games that I've covered. Thank you ever so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and goodbye. And I hope I bloody win it. I've not won one since the Frankenstein one, and it was only me and Rod playing that one. Thanks ever so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.